All right. Well, let's get started. We are doing another one of our things.
Yes,
where
Zooms.
if you would ask me in February, would you become a TV personality? I would have said no, but yes.
And I would have never been in front of the camera.
But here we are. And so today we have Melanie from DisabilitySA with us. And a lot of you may not be familiar with DisabilitySA, but we've been working with them for a few years, doing some photography to support their events. It's a incredible organization. It does a lot of good in San Antonio. And Melanie, would you tell us a little bit about DisabilitySA?
Sure. So DisabilitySA started actually back in 2007 when the community got together and noticed that there was a gap in pulling together disability service organizations from all different sectors of the disability community together in one place so that people who had multiple disabilities weren't running around in so many silos and circles. And so we hosted our first Accessibility Fest in October of 2007. And from there, DisabilitySA.org was formed to carry that information that we collected and pulled together at the Accessibility Fest through the rest of the year. And so we operated out of people's volunteer time from 2007 all the way to 2016, when we finally incorporated and became an independent nonprofit organization. We were operating under other organizations all the way up until that point. And then our programs just exploded. So now we are a hub in the community to connect people with disabilities with the resources that are available in our community, to explore the gaps in how we can resolve those, and to advocate for people with disabilities as leaders plan and envision what the city of San Antonio will look like going forward. And so we have a vision to make San Antonio the #1 community where people with disabilities want to live, work, and play. And we do that by fulfilling our mission to educate, advance, and engage individuals with disabilities by sharing information, creating opportunities, and strengthening the organizations that serve them.
Awesome.
That's awesome. And you know, I know you are out there advocating all the time. I have heard you on NPR. I have seen you on podcasts, or heard you on podcasts.
Yeah, if you've seen her on podcasts, I want to see that podcast.
You know, I know that you guys do great work, and I've met people who either work with your organization or benefit from your organization in some way. So
well, the event we help with is the Fiesta Especial. Tell us a little bit about that so people know what we're talking about.
Sure. So we like to think of it as a program that hosts a couple of different events, but our Fiesta Especial program is our way of creating opportunity for people with disabilities to engage in community celebrations. So we look at all of the reasons and the barriers that somebody with any type of disability might not be participating in our community celebrations. And since Fiesta is one of our city's biggest celebrations of our heritage, culture, and diversity, we're on the front lines of that. So our Fiesta Especial programs include a inclusion 5K and parade. So there's 8 adaptive divisions of that 5K. So any type of adaptive aid that you use for mobility, we probably have a division for you, whether you need a guide as a blind or visually impaired runner, or whether you're using a push chair, or whether you have a prosthetic, or you are in a wheelchair, use a wheelchair for mobility, there's a competitive division for you. And we also take runners and walkers. So
of all ages?
all ages and all abilities. So that's a really exciting part of getting people out there and active and engaged in that celebration. And then we do our celebration day, which is a community-based instruction program where we bring out over 2,300 special education students and adults from local day habilitation programs to engage in the fun and festivities of Fiesta at the downtown carnival. And one of my favorite stories about that and how meaningful this experience is we scheduled to have one of our families come to the carnival, and they drove past the Fiesta Carnival 3 times looking for the little carnival that was for the special needs community.
Oh.
And by the time we got her on the phone, we were like, no, how can you miss it? It's the big Ferris wheel. And it's just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that was for us. And I'm like, yes, this is about inclusion. This is about engagement.
Right.
This is about getting you out in the community and involved. And so that was just one of the moments that said, you're doing what you need to be doing, and this is a good thing. And then my favorite part of our Fiesta Especial programs is, of course, the Royal Court Leadership and Life Skills Development Program. And that is a 7-month program where youth and adults with all types of disabilities join together to work on their leadership skills, to create visibility for the leadership and contributions people with disabilities are making in our community. We work on campaigning, we work on making appearances, we work on role modeling, we work on representing others in the community, and it's just a phenomenal experience. And with those campaign funds, we're able to fill our mission of that educate, advance, and engage and strengthen, in that we're creating this visibility, we're creating this community, and we're creating this idea that people with disabilities can, or we're enhancing or promoting the idea, we're not creating it, that people with disabilities can do whatever they would like to and can be a part of everything in our community. And 60% of what they raise goes to put on that celebration day at the carnival for other people with disabilities. And the other 40% of what they raise during their campaigns goes to benefit a local nonprofit disability service organization of their choice. Right. And we're going to, in the next couple of weeks, be doing some of those check presentations. So we have some creative ways of delivering those checks to those organizations right now, while, you know, everybody's kind of struggling during the COVID pandemic. So we're excited to be doing that. We'll be giving away about $14,000 in the next 2 weeks.
That's fantastic.
That is so cool.
So that's just one of my favorite components, and one of my favorite parts of that specific program is I call it the power of the crown. And so we obviously, as Fiesta royalty, are out there creating that visibility and walking around with our sashes and our crowns. And when these individuals walk into a room, they're seen for those crowns and who they are as representatives in the community, and the disability that might be visible otherwise just kind of disappears. So they get this entirely different experience of walking into a room where maybe normally people kind of look with curiosity, or you know, not really sure how to interact. Now on this court, when they walk into a room, they're greeted with hugs and right. I want to take my picture with you, and they're seen as a person of significance. Or that's kind of probably the wrong way to say that, but they're seen as a person of affluence, right? And people want to clamor and be around them, and it helps to develop this sense of confidence that I see last, right, even after they take the crown off. So it's definitely a life-changing experience for the people who participate in that program.
Excellent.
That's awesome.
It is. When we've been doing the photography forum, the one thing that it relates to what you're saying is that I feel they all deserve to look great, and I think that adds to what you're talking about.
Yeah, I mean, with the people we've known over the years we've been doing this with you, I see the confidence. Just, you know, they walk around and they're engaging with people, and people are looking to them. Like you said, I see the little kids wanting to take pictures, grown adults come up to them, you know, but I also see that it just gives them that self-confidence that I did this, whatever they raised in their funds, I accomplished this goal, and I'm out here meeting people, they're meeting me, and they're learning about my disability and how I've overcome, or how I'm doing my best to overcome or overpower.
So
and we learned.
I'm sorry. So the pandemic's kind of split your events up, right? You've done a couple of them, and and the Fiesta piece now is getting moved. Tell us about what are you doing with that coming up in the rest of the year?
Well, with all
Sure.
of your events.
Yeah.
So our Fiesta events got postponed along with the rest of Fiesta. So our 5K and parade will now take place on Saturday, November 7th. And we've added an additional registration because it's so close to the next year's Fiesta. So now you can register $35 to do the 5K, $25 to do the 1 mile, or for $50, you can do a 2-step, which gets you registered in the 5K for November and the 5K for 2021.
That's great.
So
That's awesome.
there's kind of a benefit to going ahead and getting yourself on the list, and then we're just hoping that the parade will be successful that close to our other parade that's going to go on October 3rd. But our celebration day has postponed to November 10th, Tuesday, November 10th. And so our biggest need right now is to make sure that we have the volunteer support because we're rescheduling in the middle of a bunch of other events that already existed annually. So we're really hopeful that the San Antonio community will really step up and do a little extra to put in the time to help all of the events that are being rescheduled and stacking on top of each other, so that we can make sure that the community is served appropriately.
So if somebody wants to volunteer, what would they do? How would they call you or whatever?
Sure. So they can call us, or they can shoot us an email. We have an email address for every event that we have. So if you'd like to volunteer for Fiesta Especial, do a Fiesta Especial at DisabilitySA, the Ability Strong Parade, AbilityStrong at DisabilitySA.org. The Accessibility Fest at accessibilityfest at disabilitysa.org, or you can just visit us online, and there's a how to get involved page that lists all of those opportunities and the dates and the signups and things like that. But speaking of Ability Strong and Accessibility Fest, so right before we have our rescheduled Fiesta events, on November 7th and 10th, we will host the 3rd annual Ability Strong Parade and 14th annual Accessibility Fest on Saturday, October 3rd. So like I said, we actually originated as Accessibility Fest and then turned into DisabilitySA. And so we're coming up on our 14th annual, and I can't believe that. It seems like so cool. We've been doing it forever. And that is a resource festival that brings together 5 hours of entertainment, resources, demonstrations, and lots of festive fun with activities and games and mascots and tree adoption and all sorts of things, which follows right on the tail end of our 3rd annual Ability Strong Parade. And now that parade is a kind of a national movement. There's 6 or 7 other communities across the nation that are putting these on annually. They're referred to as disability pride parades. We call ours the Ability Strong Parade, and it's about expressing the belief that disability is a natural and beautiful part of the human diversity in which people living with a disability can take pride. So we put that on in downtown San Antonio, bringing people into the heart of the city. And we do that to help create awareness and to get people thinking about how we can change the way we think about and define disability. This year's theme is going to be, our motto is "My ability is fierce," and the theme is superheroes saving the world with unique abilities.
Very good.
Love it.
Very good.
So
awesome.
It'll have a superhero theme. The stuff that goes out will be on the My Ability is Fierce, and it should be a great celebration.
That's awesome.
It sounds like fun.
It sounds like fun. I hope it works out well, Melanie. We know we're gonna have everyone's gonna have so many challenges in the fall, but
Yes.
Disability SA is a great cause, and we hope you get some volunteers and help, and if the events come off really well,
Thank you.
we really wish you the best of
Yeah,
luck.
I would think, I mean, I know it's not till October and November, but I would think that after being quarantined for however long we are going to be, people are going to be looking for things to do
I think so.
outside
I think they
and
will.
to be involved. And what better way than to come out and support the community? And Disability SA is doing amazing work. Y'all are just awesome. And I think you need more exposure. Personally.
Thank you so much. And for those families who have an individual who's 12 years of age and up with any type of disability, enrollment for the 2021 Royal Court opens May 1st.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So we're going to be having 2 royalties on top of each other this
Oh my
year,
gosh.
because we'll be campaigning with one Royal Court group while
You're
the others
recruiting the next.
participating in parades and
Wow.
fiesta events in November. So it's going to be a super crazy fall for us. And but we're looking for the next group of leaders who want to come out and, one, develop their leadership skills, develop a few life skills, and be that representative for others with disabilities in our community on the fiesta scene.
Yay.
All
That sounds like fun. I know it's a lot of work, but they seem to have a lot of fun too.
They have a lot of fun, and there's tremendous growth. I mean, you just, from the beginning of the year to the end and even beyond, you see permanent growth.
That's fantastic. Melanie, thank you so much. We're going to put this link out on Facebook. I'm going to put links to Disability SA. It'll be on our YouTube channel and on Facebook.
Right.
So people hopefully will contact you to participate and be a part of it. And we will look forward to doing the photography again next year. Thank you so much for doing this with us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.